Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream, the demo stream basically, of my upcoming game Stellar Expedition. Um, for AwShux, obviously. I hope everybody can hear me properly. If anyone is in the chat at the moment. If you have any questions during the demo I am going to give now, please do so. I'm looking at the Discord at the moment, and I'm also looking at the Twitch chat. I also have a short video up on my YouTube channel, which is linked through my website, which is playstellarexpedition.com. And it's a 15-minute video in which I explain the game thoroughly. But I will just go over it very quickly here in a small demo, and in about 2 hours me and a friend of mine will play a 2-player game of Stellar Expedition, and we have 2 vacant seats so people can actually join if they want to. But what are you going to do in this game, you might ask? Well, the goal of the game is to solve 3 missions which you will receive at the beginning of the game. These 3 missions come in various difficulties, ranging from gold to bronze. Now, as you can see in this mission I took, for example, there are a few icons displayed here. And these 2 icons mean archaeology, and this icon means an officer. And you will need to gain these icons in your crew. And your crew starts out with only two cards. You only have your captain, and you only have a robot. And as you can see, for that mission that I just showed you, I already have 1 icon. But my goal is in the game to get more of these icons. And how am I going to do that? Well, I have to explore the space around me here. And as you can see, so far we only discovered my planet and the planet of my fictional opponent. And we can add new ones here on this pile. When we add these new planets, then we are able to build embassies on them, which are represented by these blue cubes I have here. And when I do so, I will receive the crew member that is living on that planet, basically. So I'll just show you an example. I'll just see what type of, for example, if I grab this location, it is a level 3 location. It is a water location, which is sometimes also used in missions, and I have to have 5 resources to build an embassy there. And the icons represented here, you see, are the crew members that I am able to recruit. So I'm going over here, this stack of planets that are available, and if I go and find the planet that I am looking for, which is this one, I can see that the first character available has 2 of these icons, which I already have. So I have to go look for some other planets in this newfound part of the galaxy, basically. And how are we going to do that? Well, basically the game is set up in 8 rounds, which is tracked on this round tracker. And each round consists of a certain amount of phases, 4 phases to be exact. You have the production phase, in which you collect resources. You have a discovery phase, where you place these location tiles, which I just showed you. And you have a sensor phase, and you roll the sensor dice, and I will explain that later as well. And you have the command phase, in which you can move and recruit and build and do all the main cool actions in the game. For this sort of short demo, I will just go over a few turns at the beginning of the game to give you a bit of a feel about how the game flows and how a two-player game works. You can play it with 2, 3, or 4 players, and the rules are basically the same, but for two-player game there's one slight rule change. Normally in this discovery phase you will get 2 tiles, but with 3 players you will get 3 tiles. So you have the chance to expand the galaxy further and faster. So let's say for the sake of this game, the blue player is the first to start, and we can start the game. Before you start the game, as I showed you, I gave all players 3 missions, and we will have to put out the upgrade store. And how those work I will explain later when I will get to it. But basically upgrades mean you can upgrade your ship or your crew and have some cool temporary or permanent benefits to them. And let us just start with the first phase. The first phase is collecting resources from your current and starting locations, which is in this case of course the same, because we start at this location when we come straight out of this space gate here. And you can see the resources you can gather at the bottom of the tile, which is 3 raw materials and 1 crystal in this case. So I can go to my dashboard here, which is a representation of my spaceship. I can add 3 and I add 1, and the red opponent here gains the same because starting locations have the same resources available. And as I mentioned, I will grab 3 of these tiles for myself, which is the planet I already just showed you, and another location and a wormhole. As you can see, I'm placing the locations next to my current position because I can only do that. I can only explore the space which is directly surrounding me. I can't do, for example, this because this is not something which is adjacent to my location. So I'll sit here, and just to already be prepared a bit, I'm going to see if this is useful for my missions. We already seen that this one gives me one of these icons, which I already have in the form of my captain, and I will need 2 of these archaeologists, which is not available on this planet, and I need to travel to a jungle planet or like plant location, and I have to build something on a tech location, which is not anything we have now because this is an arcane location and this is a water location. So for my missions, these are not that useful, but we'll see what my opponent grabs. They can also get 3 of them in a 2-player game, and this is a more expensive one, and this is a location I travel to, so this is good for me. But is it good for this fictional opponent? I am not sure yet. And as you can see, these locations are straightforward. You can build there and you can grab the crew members to add to your crew, but these locations, these are a bit strange. These are anomalies. In this case, you have an asteroid anomaly, and an asteroid anomaly only allows you to travel through here, here, and here. It's blocked on this side. And a wormhole, while by itself is useless, if you have more of them, you can travel instantaneously from one to another. Okay, so this is already 2 phases done. We will go to the sensor phase now, and we roll the sensor dice, which I have here, which has several different icons on them. The icons that are on top right now are the special abilities, and the thing you can see on the side are encounter cards, and you have several other things like an upgrade or a specific resource, but I'll just roll them and see what we get. In this case, I will get a encounter. If you roll an encounter, the other dice is immediately discarded and you have to resolve the encounter first. There is a way to re-roll the dice, but you will have to have influence, and we don't have those at the moment, or not enough at least, because these are the orange ones and I would have need 2 to do so. It sounds like a lot, but there's a reference sheet, and on this reference sheet you can see what you can buy for all the resources. Mainly you can buy cool stuff with raw materials and crystals, and with influence you can sort of manage some things with tiles and manage some things with missions. So anyway, I rolled an encounter. So now I'll have to grab one from the encounter deck. I'm going to shuffle them first just to be sure. And encounters can be positive or negative. Most of them are negative and can be resolved by the aid of your crew, but sometimes you just have to resolve what happens because, well, space is a dangerous place. Well, in this case, it's something that is not bad for me. I have found some tech enhancements, which is good, so I can immediately explain how upgrades work. So there's some flavor text here that explains that I found a tech enhancement and my engineers are busy working on to see how they can improve my ship. So I receive an upgrade. That's great. So I'll head over to the store and see what's in there. As I previously mentioned in one of my missions, I needed an archaeologist. As you can see here, one of the upgrades has this archaeology icon. What does that mean? Well, that means that I will always have an archaeology icon, even if my crew does not have it. And I can discard the upgrade to do this special ability. In this case, I can redo my sensor face. So I can re-roll both of my dice if it is a terrible roll, for example. So this is actually a great one. So I'm going to take this because this will already get me more than halfway to what I need to do here. So I'll grab this and I'll place it on the dashboard. There's like small numbers here, so you know that this is number 1, so you have to place it in that order. Okay, what I do now is I immediately replenish the store, and don't go there, and see what I got here. It is a pirate icon with a special ability to steal stuff from my opponent. Why is this orange? Okay. But there was another thing that was mentioned on this encounter card. As you can see, there is a bonus reward. If I'm able to do this, which is not that difficult, I can also use the bonus reward. I have to play a character with this icon, with the officer icon, which is something that I have because this is my captain. So what I do is I play the captain and I play her in the transit slot to represent that she is on a mission. She is doing something. So she's not part of my crew anymore. She's not in my hand. And when I did that, I met the requirements for this bonus reward. So what I'm doing is I'm going to grab another one. I can grab another one of these and I will get this one. This one is very handy. If you discard this, I can move my spaceship to any location in the galaxy. So that's great. Even when my engines are broken, which is something that can happen in the game. So I'll put that on the number 2 slot on my dashboard. Zoom in a bit to see. And this was not a bad sensor face for me because I have 2 free upgrades. I did, however, have to play my captain, so I can't really use her for the rest of the round. But at the beginning of the game, I will probably don't need to. My opponent has, because I can't really put them in their hands, has these two crew members in their hand. And they will also need to roll the dice. In this case, they are lucky. They have 2 reward dice. They can use or one of their special abilities, or they can also get an upgrade. As you can see, it's the first special ability. So I'll go to their dashboard and see what it is. The first special ability is a death ray, and the second is a raiding party, but they can use this one. So they can damage a spaceship. In this case, it's a 2-player game, so they will damage me. Or they can get an upgrade. Well, just for the sake of explaining how damage works, I will go and do the death ray. So my opponent will damage me. So I will grab a card from the damage deck, which is these small cards, and they have the same size as the upgrades. So you already figured out probably where they're going to be put. And it is a plasma leak. So at the end of my turn, a random crew member is always injured. And injury is something that I will explain shortly, but now we have to place this card. And a damage card is also placed in the first slot on your dashboard, which is not this one, because this is the third slot, but this is this one. So what happens is my ship is damaged, I have a plasma leak, and the upgrade that was underneath it is now inoperable. So I have to repair this before I can use that again, and to get this away from me, basically. So I will have to spend 3 raw materials when the time comes to get rid of this, because injury is very annoying. Your crew members can't die, but they can get injured. And injury means that, for example, if my captain would be injured, she goes to the sick bay slot over here. And the sick bay slot means that you can only get her back at the end of a next round. So you basically lose her skills for a round, and that will happen every round for me, which is, well, to say. So anyway, this is what they did to me, and now we're going to the bulk of the things you can do. It's the command phase. You can move your ship. Your ship can move only 1 tile. You can recruit crew members. If you build an embassy, you can recruit a crew member from that specific location. You can complete missions if you have the requirements. You can collect resources if you have some other locations around the galaxy where you have embassies, and you can spend resources and influence to buy several things. So I am in a bit of a conundrum at the moment, because I actually want to build a second embassy on my planet as an upgrade for 4, because I want to add this crew member to my crew. You can build a maximum of 3 embassies on each location. But I also want to get rid of my plasma leak here, because this will injure a crew member every time. And I can't do both, because this is 3 and this is 4. So I am going to chance it, because I know which character is going to be injured, because this is the only one I have. So what I'll do is I'll upgrade my planet and build another embassy for 4 resources. I have 6, so I go down to 2, and I also go up 1 influence, because basically what you do is you build up your impact in this area of the galaxy, and your influence grows, and you can use this influence to do various things. And these are very tiny. going to place this one here, and I now have 2 of them, so I get the number 2 crew member, and he has a soldier icon and he is a level 2, as I mentioned. He will not go directly into my hand though. He also goes next to the captain in the transit slot to represent that he's on route from the planet to my spaceship. And I think that is it for my turn. I'm gonna stay put. I'm not gonna move, and I'm not able to repair this. So my turn is now over, and I will have to randomly select a crew member from my hand. Well, I can't do it randomly because I only have 1. So this robot is now injured, or in a robot's case, it's broken. And it's my opponent's turn to do their command phase. I haven't really looked at their missions yet. They will have to, for their gold mission, which is worth 6 points, they will have to go to this specific location, have all these icons which they don't have right now. They need medics and this one. Okay. This is interesting because 2 of these icons, I've noticed that they are in the upgrade store. This one and this one. This is a navigation icon, and this is obviously a medical icon. But the captain of my opponent also has a navigation item, so they're not really concerned with that. So they are going to follow my lead and upgrade their base with an embassy. And I have 2 left. They also get 1 influence, and they will receive a soldier in their hands, which I'm just going to put here as well. As you already maybe noticed, at the beginning of the game there's a lot of build-up. You have to plan ahead. You have to see, okay, where's the location where I need to go? Where are the icons that I need? Where are the crew members I need to recruit? And in this case, he's going to plan ahead a bit, or they, because there's not actual person. Let me see. They are going to buy an upgrade. And how does that work? Well, you can buy an upgrade if you look on the resource management tracker. You can see for 2 raw materials you can buy an upgrade, and they're going to buy the medical kit that I just saw, because this will give me this icon already, or my opponent already, which is great for them because they now are also more than halfway through a mission. I have to do this, flip it over, and this is a communication icon. My opponent is actually in a very good position because this location, although expensive, is exactly what they need for this. Because you do know what type of icons are there, but you don't know exactly how many icons each crew member potentially has. You can always check these cards because these are just open. And if you, for example, no, that's not the correct card. If you take this card, which is Rainbow Station, which is on the board right now, you can see that it'll reward you with 3 if you build something there. It will cost you 7 to upgrade it, and 7 and 1 crystal. But if you flip it over, you'll have some more information. You'll have some information about what type of crew members you can get there. So in this case, it's 2 pirates and 2 communication officers, which is very interesting because that'll go a long way for them to go on their mission. But they've done enough. They bought this for 2, and this is the end of the round. Before we end the round though. All crew members that have been played and are in transit go back into the player's hands, which is in this case Mr. Adams here and my captain Raven Armstrong. And my robot, unfortunately, he will not be able to go back in my crew. He will go in the transit slot and I will get him back at the end of the next turn. That is the downside of having a plasma leak. So at one point I do have to repair that, because otherwise I'll just keep losing a crew member every turn. The round tracker goes to the second round and my opponent becomes the first player. We both get our resources again, so I'll do that quickly. My opponent has 0 and goes to 3 and goes to one of these. And I also add 3 and go to 5, which is great for me because that will allow me to upgrade, maybe if I don't want to do something else. And my opponent will take tiles. I said in a 2-player game you can get 3 tiles, but you can only place tiles next to the location where you're currently at. So I can only place a tile here and here for my opponent. So in this case, they only take 2. And they are very unlucky because they take 2 wormholes next to each other, which is basically useless, but it is what it is, and you find what you find in space. Here, there is a slight difference with this wormhole. This wormhole has a refueling station next to it, which will allow you to receive a crystal when you end your turn there. So for example, if my opponent would end their turn here, they will receive one of these icons. I'm in the same boat as my opponent. I can also only put 2 location tiles down, and I'm equally unlucky. I have some asteroids and some asteroids with a ghost ship. On a ghost ship you can collect stuff, so this is not terrible. You can, if you end your turn here, just like with the refueling station, you can receive an upgrade. Okay, let's see what my opponent needs to do now. My opponent is now in the sensor phase. Sensor phase is rolling the dice. Hopefully it's, for me, it's better than last time. Well, it's 2 resources. So he has to choose one of these, and well, since they're both the same, they can only choose this one. I will also roll them, and I roll 2 encounter cards, which sounds terrible, but it isn't that bad, because what I can do is when I roll 2 encounter cards is that I can take 2 cards and choose one to keep and one to discard. So here something bad happens. You respond to a distress call from a spaceship. They urgently need medical assistance. Their ship is heavily damaged by a meteor storm. It will take a while to help them out. Your ship can't move this round. Okay, so if I would use this one, my ship can't move this round, but if I would have a medic and a pilot icon in my crew, I am able to overcome this encounter. But let's see what the other one is about. Oh, this is something interesting. There's a moral dilemma. A group of aliens present you with a dilemma. You have to attack one of your opponents or they destroy you. Okay. So I have to damage a ship, and if I would play as a bonus reward, play a soldier, I could damage one other ship. Since there's only one player, that is not possible in this case. So I'm going to keep this one, and I'm going to discard this one, because this one is not beneficial to me, and the other one will hurt my opponent. So I'm going to damage him back and see what type of damage he is getting, because there are several different types. He will receive the same type. There's also one that destroys your sensor, and there's also one that destroys your engines. But this is a plasma leak again, so I'll play it here, and my opponent is in the same boat as I am at the moment. So now it is their command phase turn. They are a bit annoyed that I've put this here, so they're going to repair this immediately for 3, because they need this icon to do this mission. I'm going to discard this one, and for their movement they are going to move to this refueling station wormhole and see what else they can do. Since I damaged them and they're not very happy about it, they want to send their captain on a solo mission. There are special characters, your captain, and all level 3 characters, and on higher level planets some level 2 characters who can go on solo missions. So if you pay 2 crystals, you can do the special ability that is below here. And you can, by the way, you can know if some character has a solo mission by this purple spaceship icon next to them. So they're going to do that. They're going to play this card, but they're not going to play it in the transit slot. They're playing it in the solo mission slot, which is somewhat similar to the sickbay, as that you will only receive this person back, or this captain in this case, at the end of your next round. So you will also lose this card for 1 round. But they want to hurt me back and get some resources back. So I have to pay 2 crystals. And what they can do is they can steal 2 raw materials from a spaceship. So since I'm the only one here, they're stealing 2 of my spaceship, and they will receive 2 back in turn. So they have 3 resources again, which they're not extremely eager to use at the moment, so they're fine for now. And now it's my turn to do my command phase. I also want to get rid of this because this is beginning to annoy me, and that'll cost me 3, and it'll bring me down to a round number of 0 resources, which doesn't allow me to do much. And I think, what shall I do? What I am going to do is I am going to move my ship here, since, well, if I stay here I won't be able to discover any new tiles. When I go here I at least am able to discover 3 more things, even though this location here is impassable. And what I'm also going to do is, no, there's not something I can do at the moment, but that's fine. Okay, it is the end of the round again, and I will grab this character that is in transit. My opponent, however, can't, because there's nothing in transit, and the solo mission character, the captain in this case, goes to transit, so they will be able to get it in the next round. And that is round 3. So we keep on building up and keep on exploring, and I will probably go over maybe 1 or 2 more rounds to give you a bit of an idea of the game, explore some planets, and maybe build some more. So we're here and we get resources again. Even though we are not on this planet anymore, we still receive these resources because these are our home systems, which is again 3 and 1, and for my opponent 1, 2, 3 and 1 as well. As I mentioned, I'm at the edge of space again, so I can get 3 tiles in this case. So hopefully something better, so I can show you a bit of the planet. Well, it's not that great, but it'll do. This is a nice planet. This is not that great. And again, a wormhole. There are 6 wormholes in the game, so we almost got them all already. And this one is a bit of the same as the refueling station, but instead of a crystal, you will receive a raw material at the end of your turn. And this is actually a nice planet. Don't really need these crew members for my missions, but who knows, maybe in the future. My opponent can grab 2 tiles. So let me see. They are way more lucky. I forgot one thing that I had to do at the end of the round. I had to give my opponent 1 crystal, and I should have gotten an upgrade. So let me see. It's not something I can use for my mission, but let's say I want to have this one to move. If I discard this, I can move 2 extra tiles this round for free. Ooh, a robot. That is something that is interesting, and I will explain in a second. When we're in the command phase, I'll explain why. Okay, so now I have to roll these dice again, and I'm rolling an encounter again, but I don't want that. I want to try and push my luck, and I'm going to pay 2 influence to re-roll one of my center dice, because I don't want to. It's nothing, so I'm safe. I only found a resource, which is good. Okay. Now it's my opponent's turn. They roll again 2 raw materials. They have lucky rolls. I only roll encounters. And now it's my command phase. So in my command phase, as I mentioned, I can do a few things. What I actually want to do is go on this specific mission. I don't have enough resources to upgrade my planet. I don't have enough resources to buy an embassy on any of these planets that are close to me, so I'm going on a mission. I have to collect 2 of these and 1 of these, and as a bonus reward, if I travel to a water location, I get an upgrade. So that's what I want. There's a water location relatively close to me, so I move 1, because I can move here. I can't move here, but I can move this way. I have 1 movement, as I explained, but I need to get here. So what do? Well, I can do a few things with crystals. We already discussed the solo missions, which my opponent did in his previous round, and I can also do a warp jump, which is basically 1 extra movement. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend 1 of these crystals to do an extra move, and I'm moving to this water location. So I'm there now, and I need an archaeologist, another archaeologist, and an officer. Well, I bought this upgrade, so I already have an archaeologist, and I'm just gonna change the camera angle a bit, and I have an officer, so I'm gonna play them. But now I'm still 1 archaeologist short, and this is where the robot icon comes in. This is a special icon which is over here, and I can reprogram a robot. So I can reprogram a robot by paying 2 crystals and give the robot any skill I desire for this round. So that's what I'm doing, which is, it's also printed on the reference sheet, by the way. So 2 crystals, reprogram a robot with the icon next to it. So I'm going to pay 2, and I'm going to reprogram this robot to have the archaeology skill. which allows me to do the mission about the ancient escape pod. The occupant of the escape pod has been dead for thousands of years, poor guy. But at least nobody's here to claim treasure he took with him. Lucky you. So I have solved this ancient mystery, and I'm going to receive an upgrade because I am at this location. Well, let's put this to the side at the moment, so I can remember the amount of points I have. And I'm going to snatch this away from my opponent because this is an upgrade card which has a robot skill next to it, which is going to be useful in the future for reprogramming. And it is also possible to have this icon for a mission. I think I even have one of those at the moment. So let me check. So I already have 4 upgrades on my ship, so it's going quite well. Yes, here my gold mission needs 2 robots and 3 for the bonus reward, but let's not go there for the moment. Okay, so I think I've done enough in this round. It is a pity that I am here because now I can only put 1 thing here, but anyway, it'll be fine. So my opponent's turn. My opponent has 7 raw materials, so that is actually quite lucky. And because he can he can build an embassy, not colonize, he can build an embassy here on this location, and it has this communication icon which they need for this. So this is their movement, and they will spend 7 raw materials and 1 crystal, which is all the raw materials they have, and 1 crystal to build an embassy. And again, because they build an embassy, they receive an influence. So they built an embassy there and established a relationship with these people on that planet, which is not this planet, but which is this planet, Agarthia, a mega city. And on the back of the card you can see the types of characters you can get. As you can see, it's a level 5 planet, which is the second to highest. There's also a level 6 planet, and as you can see, these crew members are quite good. This one has 2 skills, has 3 skills, and a solo mission ability, and this one has the same 3 skills and a solo mission ability. So they will put this card here, and they will receive the first crew member, which is in this case Brigadier Mixa, a police officer with a high communication skill, which is useful for them. And I think my opponent will leave it at that because they can't really do much more. Yes, they can. They have 3 resources and 3 influence, excuse me, and they're going to take a secret mission, which is going to be a bit weird in this case because I'm the only one playing. But for 3, they are able to grab a mission. They'll take a silver mission, which is not open, so this is something they normally would have in their hands. So the other people, me in this case, are not able to see that they will need to do this mission, which is not terrible for them because on the planet they just bought an embassy. These 2 are available when they buy another embassy. Okay, so I'm going to go over one more round, which is round number 4. As you can see, it kind of is building up a bit already. It's like you have to slowly build up your influence and your crew to get to where you want to go. So he's the first player, and I am going to put my crew members back in my hand because they're all in transit, which is also the case for my opponent. They will put them here, and it is their turn to get resources, and they will get more resources now because they get the resources from their home planet and the resources from the planet they are currently located at. So they get 5 raw materials and 2 crystals, which is already quite a lot in this beginning of the game. The more locations you have, the more resources you get. And I only get a measly 3, but I saved some up from the last round, so I'm actually going to be fine. What I did forget is that I can take another mission. I can take any other mission at the end of the round that I want. So I'm going to take a bronze mission, which is a simple one. I only have to travel to an arcane location and get 1 point. So it's super simple, but it also doesn't reward me with a lot. Anyway, yeah, so we got this. My opponent is the first player now, so is the first to get 3 location cards, which are actually not that bad. This one they will put over here because it's not something they find useful. And we have found a desert planet, which is very useful for their mission because they need to travel to one of those for their secret mission. And I have found a level 6 location, which, as you can see, is very expensive to build, but also very high reward. And the characters there all have at least 3 skills. And in my case, I can only grab 1 tile to explore, which is a relatively okay planet. Not something that I need, but it's okay. Okay, now we're at the sensor phase again, and you can roll. And it is a resource or, again, a special ability, which is the death ray, which is a damage, but I am not going to damage. They are going to take one of these. And now I'm going to roll, and I rolled an encounter again. Oh, this one encounter needs to go in the last round. You see, something bad happened again. I found a nameless jump point in a small nebula. It activates when I got close, and it sucks my ship in, and it will teleport me to a different location, and my opponent can choose which one. Well, I think I can handle this because I can prevent it by playing crew members with these icons. I already have this one, so I have to see if I also have that one, and I do. I actually do. My robot is a navigation robot, so it has this skill. So what I do is I play it because he's very skillful, and I have this archaeology thing. Why do I need archaeology? Because it's an ancient jump point. I get it. So actually, this is quite beneficial for me because, as you can see, I have already quite a diverse crew with some different icons and some different skills. So I was able to solve this dilemma that I encountered, which also, because I solved it, rewards me with an upgrade again. This is actually crazy because normally you don't have this many upgrades in the 4th turn, but I am definitely not complaining. Let me see what is here. This is an icon I already have. I'm going to grab this tractor beam to prevent my opponent from moving if I need to. Oh, there's another one. Okay. I thought to take it away from my opponent, but they are able to get one if they want. Okay, now it's the command phase again. And this is going to be the last command phase I'm going through, because then you probably will have a good idea of what the game is about. My opponent, what do they want to do? They will actually want to solve a mission, and I think they are able to. Yes, they are very much able to do so. Maybe they don't even need this. Yes, they will go on this mission and see if there's a city planet nearby which they can travel to. And there is not actually. Oh, there are. They're located on a city planet, so they don't even have to travel. So yeah, that's what they're going to do. They already have one medical icon, which is an upgrade they have on their board, and they will need to have a navigation icon, which is something they have because their captain has it, and they're going to reprogram a robot, just as I did, to gain the other medical icon, which will cost them 2 crystals, and you will have to play this robot in the transit slot. And they also have, I'll put it here, 3 points at the moment. Why is this here? This was their secret mission. And even though we are not playing any further, they are very much, they really want to plan out this mission. And since they already have 2 of these icons, 2 of these communication icons, and 1 of the pirate icons, which is part of their captain, he's a bit of a pirate, they are going to buy some upgrades, because in the upgrade store there is an ocular implant which has a pirate icon, and there is a galactic union seal which has a communication icon. So for 4 they are able to buy this, and in a normal game it would be advisable to do this, because if they're there and you need them, grab them, because your opponent knows what type of missions you have, so they will try and sabotage your efforts, so they will maybe buy them away from you. And all the sort of special ones that have like specific icons, there's only 1 of those upgrades available in the whole deck. Okay, so now it's my turn, and I'm not sure I can actually do anything to go on a mission. I don't think I can go on a mission at the moment. Travel to this location. Is that near me? Well, it's quite near. So for my movement, I'm going back home, and I'm going to buy the last upgrade, which is 5 raw materials and 1 crystal. Let me see if I did the math right. Yes, so this is 2 and 1 crystal, and that will allow me to build the 3rd and final embassy here, and it will grant me a influence. Why is it important to upgrade your planets fully with 3 embassies? Well, mainly because you get cool crew members, because this crew member who goes into transit at the moment, he also has a solo mission, and it allows him to buy 2 upgrades for 2 crystals, which in my case is not very useful because I'm already quite full, but you never know what happens to my upgrades later on in the game. But also you get 1 point at the end of the game, 1 expedition point, for every location that is fully upgraded. So this is worth 1 point. And also this location now generates double the amount of resources. So if in my next turn I produce resources, I get 6 raw materials and 2 crystals. So a good strategy could always be to upgrade your home planet fast, but be mindful, especially in a 4-player game, it could also be beneficial to build an embassy on locations closest to you, which will grant you the crew members for your specific missions before your opponent snatches them. But in this case, this is what I've been doing, and I have one crystal left, which I'm going to use for a warp jump. And I'm going to warp jump, so do an extra movement to, not the complete planet, only the thing itself, to go to Aviana Prime, which is a arcane location, which is something that I need for my mission, my bronze mission, just to travel there. So this is something I solved as well. I won't be able to do the bonus reward, because for the bonus reward I need to have 2 level 2 characters, and at the moment I only have 1, and my captain and my other people are preoccupied. So in this case I would have had 1 point for my bronze mission, 3 points for my silver, that's 4 for my missions. I have 1 point for my fully upgraded planet, so I would have 5 points, and my opponent did their mission for 3 points. So I'll end the explanation of the game on this note, because I will probably give you a good overview of what you can do in the game. And as you can see, there are loads of locations you can discover. There are 28 in total, 4 starting locations, and there are 24 locations that you can find, where you can build things on. And there are also a lot of other locations that you can find, which has like wormholes and all these things. I will show them. I'll just show a few of the planets just for fun. This, for example, a level 1 planet, where you're not able to receive a lot of resources, but it's also not very expensive to build on. You find these sort of like fox-like creatures there. There's this planet that has insects that are inhabiting on that planet, or it's more like a spider alien, and you have all these different ones all the way up to level 6, which in this case has this cool robot guy who has like 2 skills and has a robot skill, or this person who has like 2 scientist skill and has a solo mission. So as you can see, there's a lot of variety in there. If you play with 4 people, you will probably go through the complete deck here. But if you play with 2 people, you will never be able to see all of these locations in one go, and you will also not be able to build on all of them. So in the next game you play, you'll probably see a lot of different planets, a lot of different aliens, and the configuration of the game is completely different. In about an hour or so, I will play a 2-player game with one of my friends. If there's anyone around that also wants to play with us, then let us know. And for now, I am going to end this explanation. As I said, go to my website, which is playstellarexpedition.com. For more information, you will find some videos, some streams that we previously did, link to my Kickstarter page, and all that cool stuff. And well, tomorrow we'll be streaming again, this evening and Sunday as well, all for this AwShux weekend. So I hope to see you soon, and have fun playing.